Game number 2 between Lynx going against our champions, or our current number 1 in Outlaws. Lynx have just been a surprising team, but not always an exceptional one. And coming into this game, Outlaws will have to be in their current form, which shouldn't be too hard.
What I like about both these teams is they seem to be very, they seem to be free with their picks.
Yeah.
Very liberal with it. All of a sudden they go, hey, we're going to get a Vayne. Oh, there's going to be a Riven. Hey, we're going to get Nidalee. All these more crazier picks off meta, perhaps not as strong, do get played when these two teams jump onto the Rift. And now all of a sudden, I want to be interested to see if it is going to be them going for homebrews or if they're going to be going for that standard along, if they've decided to evolve their gameplay, or maybe perhaps just stick with what's working, because it is a very crazy patch at the moment.
So we'll take it back. Of course, it was Harry in the jungle. I do apologize for Lynx. Let's run through this roster because it is pretty much a refresher for Lynx. It is Jopan in the top lane. You got Harry in the jungle. Amital is still mid. So there's the solid brick. And then you've got Kingsley and Catpaws down in the bottom lane. I am very worried for Lynx right now. What are you laughing at, Magic?
Catpaws. Yeah.
You're a cat person, aren't you? You're a cat person.
I'm a cat person. Who isn't a cat person?
Look, you're a cat person. I get it. It is going to be...
Are you not a cat person?
I'm not. Dude, I'm a dog person.
I'm an animal person.
You're an animal.
I like dogs and
Matrix,
cats.
you're an animal.
All right.
You're an absolute animal. Galio, Cho'Gath, and the Caitlyn band away. It is going to be the Thresh, LeBlanc, and Gnar. And the first pick, Sejuani, something that was actually just left open in last game, may just be secured by Lynx.
And all of a sudden, with these other tanks being taken off the board, you do go, okay, is there a Maokai? Do we want the Maokai, or do we want the Sejuani in this pick? And so it sort of forces Outlaws to go for the Maokai in terms of the junglers that is available to them. If they do not decide to actually pick that up, all of a sudden Lynx can say, yes, I'm actually going to get that as well. We've got we can put the Maokai in the jungle, still a bit of a swiper special, and play Sejuani in the top lane. So the options are beginning to line up for Lynx for them to actually pick that up. I'm surprised they chose the Sejuani over the Maokai. Now it's going to be up to Outlaws to see what they prioritize, because I want them to go for a Maokai off that next pick there. But if they decide to go for the Gragas, why not?
Why not? Scam Diggity has been someone who surprised us with his champion pool. Willaris gets his Orianna. This is the 4th week in a row that Outlaws have prioritized first pick Orianna.
And again, it comes down to that idea of, is it something that we just know that Willaris completely excels
By
on,
now, do we question it?
I don't even know if we do want to question it, because it could be just them saying, it's a solid pick. It means we don't need to worry about our mid lane. We can prioritize our other lanes for counter picks if we do this. And that might be something that most of the other teams have gone, look, we know it's going to be Orianna mid for Willaris. Maybe we don't. Maybe we want him to actually have that pick, because all of a sudden, if he doesn't get it, if he gets banned away, they might start putting priority onto what he actually gets to pick up instead. Well,
it is going to be Talia and Tristana locked in for Lynx. On the side of Outlaws, they have the opportunity to potentially counter-pick in that 80 carry role before it gets banned away. But Curse, locks in the Camille, a champion that he has played over 200 games in solo queue of. And this guy is a monster Camille, so this could be very dangerous.
I love this pick as well, because Jopan is also a practice Camille. So all of a sudden, not only are you getting someone strong on who they're good at, you're also taking away an opportunity for Jopan to actually be able to play effectively as well, because he's losing one of his good picks.
100%. So does he pick up the Jax now? Because the Jax has been the often countermeasure into Camille. Jopan has lost his Gnar. Renekton has been banned away by Outlaws. What options do you have left on the board? And if Outlaws ban this Jax, what do you have to run into Camille? Full tank.
You can just go for a full tank. At the end of the day, J4 is tried and tested. That guy is probably someone who's not going to be banned. He's still going to do well in team fights. Maybe he's not going to have full control of his lane, but at the end of the day, that's not what you're after when you pick up the J4. You're looking for that team-orientated, sort of big engage where you blow up an AD and then win afterwards.
I mean, it's going to be the Poppy as the final ban against Jopan.
That's also like a decent counter into Camille, so it makes sense.
And I mean, obviously, Jopan must have been playing that a bit as well. The Gnar being banned away, I think, is really crucial, because Jopan has had a couple of weeks on this Gnar, and he's been one of the few OCS players who have prioritized the Gnar. We know that overseas, internationally, G2s expect will pick up the Gnar time and time again, and it's just been a pick that 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, and even 15 works throughout, because he's a tank, he's a bruiser, he fits into a lot of categories. And going against some of these team compositions, the Gnar can do wonders. What does he pick up now? Does he go for... I think the biggest crucial part is, does he just pick up that J4?
I'd say it's going to be J4 just by default. As you can see, they're prioritizing the support instead.
Or you could go Morgana down to the bottom lane.
To be honest, look at all the supports that have been banned. That's Tahm Kench.
Yep.
Taric.
You can keep going, man. Just don't stop at Tahm Kench.
And then they picked up the Brom. So all of a sudden you kind of go, what tanks are available for us to pick up? I mean, either we could go for the Blitzcrank, because that's something that really works with our team composition. We've got plenty of Engage already.
And Jopan's just picked up the Scarl Kled combination.
There we go. That's something that does work as well going into Camille. All of a sudden it's a skill matchup.
Yep.
So Jopan is throwing down the gauntlet against Curse. So these two guys really could look for a massive advantage. I expect the junglers to actually put some priority up in that top lane. Because really, when you look at the mid laners, both of them are just going to be sitting back chilling out most of the time. Both are going to be looking to lane neutralize. One wants to shove up and roam. The other one wants just to keep control of their lane, get big farm for those big shockwaves.
I thought in week number 7 we'd see Rain actually pick up that Draven, but no, picks up the Zarya instead, plays with our hearts. And that team composition is coming along nicely. Look, the Shockwave, Zarya, and you've got... the Featherstorm. You've got the Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah.
There's some heavy engaged in. There's a lot of chain CC.
Also add to the fact that it is a self-reliant ADC as well. Does really well in those team fights with a lot of members that decide to just want to go in all the time. It makes sense for you to go,
Who do you target, right?
Exactly. You're going to go, everyone here has an ability that's basically going to turn on me if at any point in time. And if I just let them be, they're going to jump on me anyways. So Lynx are going to have their hands full. It's going to be up to those early skirmishes for them to really make it happen, or a nice big Sejuani ultimate to really start off a fight.
Or at least the charge to come through as well. But how does the Morgana fit into this? Because knowing Brom, he's unbreakable, of course, will actually still get binded. But Morgana has to have that specific window to engage. Will work for Tristana, but I am still worried that the Morgana pick may not work into the Outlaws team composition.
It is something that gives them another form of engage as well. If you look at it, all of a sudden when there is a big binding that just comes out, make sure that you can't escape. It is a very long cooldown as well. So if you do decide to opt in for those Ninja Tabis, basically that binding does just do so much to lock you down, make you a big target. So she does have her advantages as well. Again, we talked about Lynx having those off-meta picks coming into it. Morgana seems to be a clear case for that.
Jumping into this game number 2, we have to question whether Lynx can actually take it to Outlaws, who have had close to a flawless run in split number 2. It's currently sitting at 5-1, only dropping a game to Athletico Esports. And Lynx, of course, they won against Athletico Esports the other week, but it was with a very different roster. You got Kingsley, Catpaws, Harry, who previously was a Blitzcrank support for Alpha Sydney in the last split. You've got Jopan, who is Team Noxide's top laner. You are mending this team together with other players, whereas Outlaws have been playing together for pretty much the whole split. And Willaris, Scam, as well as Rain, these three have just been playing together for 2 splits now. So if you want to talk about synergy, if you want to talk about team bonding and team, positional rotations, I guess you could put in there, then you're definitely looking at Outlaws and saying that these guys shouldn't have too much trouble.
And generally that's what happens when you do manage to have a solid unit of players and teams. Anyone else can slot into it very effectively. I don't think anything too crazy is going to happen out of this engage there.
You sure? It's a little bit crazy. Willaris at half health.
Armador managed to get a nice, good strike there onto him with the stone thread. And
the stone thread.
So what Talias sometimes like to do there, instead, is actually force out quick level 2s and push out ASAP as fast as they can. And they can actually even go for level 2 roams.
Okay.
So that's something that's really cute. Mid-Beast loves to do it. He's a guy that...
Mid-Beast.
He's
the classic. The classic. Where is that guy?
So as you can see, look at all the control that already doing those quick push-outs gives him. All of a sudden, yep, we know Scam Diggity's doing his red because I'm able to push this into turret, run in and get a roam. So I'm going to be very interested to see what Armador decides to do with that level 2 advantage. If he does decide to go for the roam or just keep Willaris boxed in.
Well, he does have level 2 now, and it still looks like he's sitting at the wave. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the early game. But Catpaws has actually gone coin on the old Morgana, so no Spell Thieves. Coin is pretty good at the moment. Still pretty good. I mean, you're not going to do anything else. Curse getting bullied against Jopan. Scarl's going to take quite a lot of damage, but Curse does take the brunt of it. And again, you have to focus your eyes on mid. And Jopan is trying to make me focus up in this top side. Well, we might have to now as
Harry's making a move there.
We'll come in onto Curse. Has the hook shot level 2. Or does he? I'm actually not sure. No, he actually just hit level 3. Harry still going in. He dodges away. One more auto attack. He's going to get the permafrost. Curse taking a lot of health damage. And Harry will take half of his health in return.
Curse played that very well and managed to get the dodge as well, because all of a sudden now Scam Diggity can start moving around the map, start picking up those camps that are available instead. As you can see, he's going for those raptors. And this just puts a big advantage for Scam, because Harry's now going to be low going into the jungle afterwards. Curse, you can see, he's already putting the pressure onto Jopan, so he's having a rough time. Makes sense for Harry to make a move towards Curse, because if you are being pushed in, if you are putting that pressure out, makes you an easy target for that gank.
But at what
he's
cost?
going to be strong. But already you can see what Curse does, and it's just already giving Outlaws an advantage. 200 gold up just off that.
Simple rotations that Scam Diggity decides not to make. Works to his benefit. Catball's not pushing up in this lane with Kingsley. We haven't had too much experience with this bottom lane. We know that Rain and K-Pop, of course, having a very good split. And K-Pop coming off the back of Regicide week 1 and 2. I mean, you want to say warm-up. I want to say synergize. Both are very different words and make no sense in this context. But K-Pop,
They sound good though, don't they?
Look, he played a couple of weeks in the OPL. And in the OPL, they're best of threes, you have to remember. You get a chance to read compositions, to read players a lot more. The OCS is best of 1. You're under a lot more pressure. K-Pop looks like he's adapted really nicely. Has played some great weeks. Some good Tahm Kench. And now back on the Brom. See how he performs with Rain, because Rain is not on Vayne this week. And I'm very hopeful. And I'm looking forward to his performance.
We just keep going back to the Vayne.
Well, we had Mendrix. It was not fun. All right, he plays a sickly good Draven.
Later on, he's going to be in the OPL. But do you remember that time he played Vayne? Oh,
Vayne meta comes back. Dark Blinding going to hit. And Kingsley will have the range advantage for now. And Outlaw's bottom lane still looks very constituted.
That's an interesting word to use as well, constituted.
Yeah, look, I've tried to expand my vocab, Mendrix. Just let it happen, all right?
All right, letting it happen there. Nice interaction.
Thank you.
with the binding there and the unbreakable.
Yeah.
And both these teams are just playing it nice and slow, taking it nice and easy. Outlaws do have a little bit of advantage. Lynx have managed to actually seize up that gold lead. But now that Lynx are backing here, here's a big thing that we need to take into consideration.
Yeah.
Now that Outlaws has managed to force them out to say, we can push this wave in. There's going to be 2 waves that are going to crash. There's going to be a big advantage in the bot side. They're going to have the experience advantage as well. So they can hit 6 and hit a go mark and just kill. Curse wants to jump onto Jopan with that teleport.
Well, maybe Jopan wants to jump onto Curse, as he will take half of his health. The Hextech sweep going to have to be used here to heal on up. Level 6 now. He has a Hextech ultimatum. He goes low to 1/4 of his health.
You immediately saw the respect from Jopan as well. Yep. Saw the level 6 prop, said, I don't want any of this at that moment in time.
Big roam from Lynx here. As Amato comes out of lane, Catpaw's roaming up as well. Has rushed the Sightstone, so not going for the level 2 coin upgrade. That'll give you that extra 15 gold per drop. And folks out there, if you don't know, the coin is just so good at the moment. Like, go into solo queue, have a great time. Because you're getting so much gold. Curse actually found Jopan again. One more hit to get off the Skull, and the minion does it for him. It's going to be really hard to reset that this early in the game.
Wasn't at one point in time in the OPL, they actually managed to... it was the 20-minute mark. It was a Thresh that originally had the Relic Shield.
Yes.
Sold it, and then picked up Coin at 20 minutes because Coin is that good.
I don't know, Mendrix.
I know there's a support.
You're the analyst. You're meant to know. You know.
Do you know how many regions there are? Do you have to remember the names?
And we live in one. We live in this one.
It's a different region.
Mendrix, support your home turf.
I know it wasn't in the OPL. Otherwise, I would have known the support's name.
You said it was in the OPL.
No, I said it was the LPL.
You've Oh, now he changes his story.
No, it's not the OPL. It was in the LPL.
Oh, my. You are betraying me. I've been waiting to cast with you for a full week. And this is what I get. Betrayal. Deceive. Deception, that's the one. Deceived. No, I was deceived.
You were deceived.
What are we?
Your ears are playing tricks on you.
Could go pear-shaped, I guess.
Absolutely.
No. Let's walk away from that curse.
Just letting him take this blue buff?
Not sure. Harry, the charge is going to come through. It's going to be onto Curse.
Oh.
He's going to use a Hextech ultimate. Great timing. But the Permafrost is going to come through as well. Stunned up. Shockwave. Well, Laris is trying to fight for first blood. goes to Jopan, and Scam Diggity and Willaris now have to get out. Flash and heal was used. Scam Diggity has nowhere to go, nowhere to run. The body slam will not be interrupted. And Jopan is going to get a huge amount of DPS. Throw some stones, and Jopan with the second kill.
Outlaws being very greedy going for that blue buff at that point in time. You could see Lynx was starting to put their chess pieces into place to make sure they had the ability to do that. If Outlaws managed to get that kill onto Harry before everyone else came and pulled the trigger, it might have been a different story. But in the end, Jopan gets there and also does Willaris, and they end up taking a nice, good lead off the back of that, off the greed of Outlaws.
Gonna look good for Lynx, that early game start, 2-0 on a Kled, who's already got that Kindle gem and can build from there. Incredible start, I guess you could say. And the rotation was so much better. Something that we've praised Outlaws for in the past, and I think Willaris walked into that fight very confidently, but only getting one person in the shockwave, and Talia's early damage burst.
It was just too much.
Yep.
And that was what I was saying. It came down to that idea of, okay, Lynx is sitting there just letting them take this blue buff, but no, they were just being patient. They understood they could do that. Armado was being very strong in this as well, just forcing that lane and getting that. Isn't going to be able to get that, though, but does get all the little chickens for his troubles.
He popped Ghost because of that as well.
Really? I didn't even see that. That's actually bad. That is bad. He should not. He should not have used.
Fair enough.
He should not have to have used his Ghost for that. That is not worth at any point in time. Ghost for half the chickens? No.
No. Knowing that summoner's down, and trust me, Scam Diggity did see that happen, but remember you also got Willaris with no summoners mid. Oh my god, K-Pop just stole that. Okay, this is when we zoom in and highlight our players. Good on you, K-Pop. Great steal with the Winter's Bite.
He's still stealing more. He's going to get all these minions as well. Like that. Oh, he's trying to hold it in lane for it.
Set him up.
He's trying to be a good guy.
He's trying to buy a house in Sydney. Needs about... No, to do that, you need about 1,000
You need to invest it in the right character. Needs to make sure it's going into the ADC.
What's the exchange rate? What's the League of Legends exchange rate?
What?
Like, so let's say you get...
All right, the exchange rate.
So gold,
League of Legends.
Yeah? So
gold.
let's say for all your items, what, 12k gold, do you reckon? Maybe if you get all 6 items, you sell your boots, 12k? Yeah.
I'd be looking at 12k. But you have to look at it in terms as well as what sort of house you're buying. I mean, when you're Corki, you're getting the Trinity Force, you're getting...
I want like a villa, Mendrix. I want a villa in Sydney. Yep.
Well, if you want a villa in Sydney, then you're looking at probably around 15k for the exchange rate.
15k?
Yeah.
That's not bad. Man, play 40 minutes, buy a house in Bondi.
That'd be perfect. Just play a game of League of Legends and buy a house in Sydney. That'd be great.
Oh, man. If only could... Do you hear that Venezuela's a currency? Actually worth less than WoW now? Than WoW's currency?
Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous.
What's happening?
Apparently, WoW has a GDP. That's just ridiculous. It actually has a gross domestic product. So I don't know how that happened, but this is the world we live in. Speaking of the world we live in.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with the world we live in. This is League of Legends. Jopan actually hit off Skull, and Scam Diggity just return game. Flash forward, bopped and overkilled. As there we go, the Glacial is going to get locked down. That's right, Scam Diggity knocked back, knocked left, right, and center. And the left, right, good night to follow up as Curse runs for his life. It's a double kill, and Lynx just get there quicker.
It just seems to be a night of upsets, and Outlaws were actually there quicker. Lynx just collapsed better. They put more resources into making sure they could kill Jopan, but Lynx said, hey, you're not just going to get away with this. They follow up afterwards, get more kills because of it. Willaris, he's not going to be moving from his lane anytime soon, and they're taking advantage of that Talia roam.
It is literally Lynx saying, who is your daddy and what does he do? And right now, Harry is daddy. He's 0-0-4. He's 100% kill participation. And this turret is going to go down. Look at Jopan. Hits it. Solo gold. 650 to the 2-1-0 Kled.
Oh, they go in. They get the kill from Jopan. They say right. And all of a sudden, Lynx say wrong. And they come in and make sure they get the kill afterwards.
Nice try. I like that. I dig that. But just want everyone to know. I'm going to set that up for Preacher. And I'm sure he'll do it better later.
Oh, please.
Medrix.
Please. No one has any idea what we're talking about right now.
My name is Hysterics. Yes, they do. Everyone knows who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. All right? Everyone knows who he is. It's not a tumor. All right?
Wrong.
No, Mandrix. Wrong quote. Jopan charges through mid lane. Willaris just simply walks back. But if you get hit by Jopan right now, he's 2-1-0. Has Phage. Almost has that Black Cleaver fully built at 13 minutes. But hasn't really itemized that well. Is 20 CS behind. You still have a lot of gold on that Kled. A lot of gold on Lynx, who are 2k up in this early game. We know what's going to happen if Outlaws get to the late game. Potential for Willaris, potential for Curse.
It's just going to be a big team fight for Outlaws if they get to late game. That's what they want to look for, because they have a team that's just drafted around having that almighty Hail Mary of a massive attack going in. And you got a decent amount of ball delivery systems as well. It can either be the Brom, it can either be the Camille jumping in, the Gragas as well. They've got so much disruption available. But Lynx are doing the right job. They're rotating early. They're taking into account that Talia has earlier spikes and is always going to be strong as she's rotating around the map. 202, more CS than Willaris. So Armado's off the chain at this point in time. And Outlaws are trying to find a response in the bot lane.
Yeah, but the control ward will spot out a ward itself, and Harry has already started up the Rift Herald. Curse drops a ward in the back of the pit and is aware this one's going on. I have to ask, Outlaws Scam 1, 2, and 0, how come he hasn't had more impact in this game? And Harry coming in fresh off the bat. I mean, I was going to say boat, that doesn't make any sense. 0, 0, and 4.
Well, you have to look at that greedy play that Outlaws did before. Whenever you go for those sort of plays and then you fall flat on your face afterwards, typically because you end up dying, you lose another member as well, you don't even get the buff at the end of it as well. You kind of sit back and go, what's going on? But here's a big play now in the mid lane.
Shockwave has already come through, and the flash forward, Willaris outplays Jopan. He could just make it a 1-for-1 trade. He's got nowhere left to run, and he's going to get permafrosted. Explosive caster and Scam Diggity saves his friend. It's more beautiful than Titanic, as Harry has to flash away, and Jopan runs for his life, and Outlaws make it a clean 1 for 0.
I really want to talk about Willaris in that team fight there. He had all the pressure put on him at that point. Manages to get the outplay, does the 1v1, and then uses the flash aggressively to get away from the abilities while also making it an offensive flash at the same time. He's then able to get away, walking towards his reinforcement, which is the Scam Diggity. He does a well-placed cast to make sure he's completely safe. Outlaws find a way to strike back.
And Amidal had both summoners available as well. Willaris gets a free lane, he pushes it in, backs away, now has the Morellonomicon and enough gold in his pocket to start a small home loan by the looks of it.
After that exchange rate, eh?
Well, got to do something with it. Buy some items, put some away into the superannuation. 15 minutes into this game.
Could you imagine if that was a mechanic?
No, man.
You put gold away?
How's that a mechanic? How is that a mechanic?
So if you get your lead, and if you know you're at a high enough point, you can put like 500 gold away for 700 gold. Never mind that.
No, Shockwave on himself, and the seismic shot backfires in the flash. Backfires, but he autoed a ward. And there's a dark binding. Willaris will still get the kill. It's all that matters. Harry runs away. I tell you what, that should have only been close. But it was only just a biddle.
All that good work that Amado had put in early into the game is just being thrown away. Willaris has managed to outplay him twice. And now they're going on to Willaris again.
And Soul Shackles will come through as well. The Glacial Fitter misses, but stunned up and bombed away. As Cat Balls will pick that one up.
I feel like they say, you know, when 3 players is not enough, let's send 4 players at the man to make sure you can take it out. But you can see the effect around the map, what it's caused. They've lost their first blood turret because of it. Yeah, they managed to get a kill and shot down onto Willaris. But so much pressure Outlaws have picked around the map, and they've managed to equalize this goal.
Yeah, and Curse still up in that top lane. Turrets are going down, left, right, and center across this map. There's a full charge in this as well. Turret will get to half health and just trying to smite it away. They do not succeed. Glacial Fisher locked on down, and Harry, he takes the Black Spell Shield. Scam Diggity will get rid of it before it takes the turret. Curse lived up in that top lane, has finally backed away. This has become a very messy game, very fast. Let's take stock of the situation, Mendrix. Gold is neck and neck. There is a 50 CS lead in that top lane, but because of first turret blood and the solo gold going over to Jopan, they are equal right now. He's going to catch up a little bit. You can see Talia is 200 ahead, but down in the bottom lane, Rain, 300 gold ahead. It is so close across the board for what a game that should be Lynx's early game. Outlaws have had the ability to claw right back.
And you have to look at Willaris. He seems to be the man that's making that happen for Outlaws here. And Lynx do not want to put themselves in a late game situation. Outlaws are the ones that will win that outright. They've got Isaiah, who performs so well in that late game, doesn't need any help, needs although you do have a Tristana who's fairly capable on her own with that Dark Shield, or that Black Shield, is able to walk around team fights effectively, it's still not the same level as Xayah. Can basically nullify any major engage threat that comes her way with her own ultimate, while at the same time putting out a lot of damage. That's what makes Xayah so strong, is that her disengage threat is also an engaged threat at the same time. So Lynx need to put the pressure on right now so Outlaws do not get to that point.
But how do you put the pressure on Curse? There's been a lot of resources committed to Curse. Do you stop his split pushing? Do you ignore him? Do you maybe pick Scam Diggity out in the middle like this? Or maybe you get caught out yourself as Explosive Cask is available for Scam. He's going to get locked up. Parallel conversion, sorry, Hextech Ultimatum, that's the one it is. Knocked up again, Curse outplayed as Jopan has just charged onto the Rift. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but Scam is going to struggle to get out. Misses, no, in fact, hit by the Dark Binding. He'll be ignited, and Willaris has jumped on in. Rain is in here as well. Lynx, they run back, but then they run back in. The Weaver's Wall to lock them out. Scam gets Seismic Shove, Explosive Cast misses. This is a very messy fight as Outlaws are just struggling to get back. Shockwave will hit too, and Willaris is starting to clean it up. Off of Kled, he says, get off my lawn. I've already said it a couple of weeks ago. Kingsley flashes away from the Blade Caller. And Outlaws, you can take stock and say it was a 1-for-2, but it's not over as the Midal is on the wrong side of the Rift. Here's the TP. Outlaws are still going to chase this out.
Not sure what he's doing there.
He doesn't have Weaver's Wall. Curse is going to jump in. Great burst of damage, but Willaris will take the kill. And Lynx, I'm not sure what the heck is going on.
There is so much trading going on between these teams right now. That was a very extended team fight. And I want to talk about what each team did correctly there. So,
please.
Lynx did a great job actually going, yes, we're going to fight and defend our own in jungle here. We've got advantages based off of that there. Outlaws had a better collapse first, with being able to bring in having Scam Diggity and Curse to actually start that fight first, which forced the 1-for-1 trade. Then there was that team fighting, that little mix in between afterwards. And that Weaver's Wall from a Midal was actually great. It was fantastic. It stopped Willaris from getting into that team fight and causing major havoc afterwards, forced Outlaws to do a big scramble. They did a good job actually tanking most of the damage coming from a Midal afterwards before that. Here comes another fight. I didn't even get the chance to explain it.
No, Charge is up and available as well. And there's the Glacial Prison will lock down Curse. He has a Hextech Ultimatum available, but Charge is so short. Jopan, what the heck is that?
Bit of an itchy trigger finger there. Doesn't hit the mark that he wants to hit. And so I'll just go back to what we were explaining before that team fight. Willaris still manages to find the right moment in time, get a big pick. And now with all the control, Outlaws have managed to wrestle back in this game. They're going for the Baron. Nice wall again.
Weaver's Wall will lock Scam Diggity and K-Pop in the pit, but they both bounce out. Baron will reset, but it is there for the taking as Lynx are just trying to control vision. Jopan, don't think he can 1v1. Uppercut kick, and Curse 1v1's the skull.
I love Curse's reaction there. He knows that the rest of the team of Lynx is up there dealing with the Baron, so he makes a move there. Scam Diggity is not in trouble.
No, Willaris, the shockwave is a little bit premature. Harry gets slowed down by the Winter's Bite, and Outlaws will fend off Lynx off this turret. But only for now, Outlaws find themselves in a 2k gold lead. Look, one more hit. This could be the difference between 500 gold. And they could rotate down that Mountain Drake, their first dragon, yet to be picked up. There's been so much fighting. 13 kills in 22 minutes. Why is Rain in a solo lane?
Because Rain can be in a solo lane if he wants to
I guess so, and he's the new Christmas trees, except the wrong team. Rain is going to be caught out here.
He can fight a Midal.
But can a Midal fight him? It's the same question.
Midal needs to keep him here. He's just holding him off there so that he buys time for Jopan to get into this. And now Rain's in trouble.
Yeah, Rain's going to have to deal with Jopan as well. And Bear Trap on a rope. Going to bring him back in. Uses the ultimate, but to what avail? A Midal not going to get hit by it. He roots down Jopan. He's just wasting time here. Jopan will pick him up. What do Outlaws get for it?
They should get their dragon. Here comes Harry.
No!
Guessed it!
Harry picks it up instead. Now you get nothing.
That was well played by League. So, again, we identified that at Midal, he couldn't fight Rain head-to-head. So instead of actually going in for the full fight, he just coaxes him into the lane. Curse is trying to find a response, saying, you have the gall, the audacity to jump in and steal away our dragon.
How dare he?
And Kingsley's like, mate, I've got a turret. It's all good.
He's like, my second movie's coming out shortly. Just relax. If my name isn't Eggsy. It's a great movie. It's a great movie, by the way.
You could say it feels like one of the characters that is in this game right now seems to be based on
100%! It's a chick with the scissor legs. That's 100%! She up against... That is gruesome. Like, what? Man. I mean, you can't go out into society anymore. You know, you obviously exempt... You know, you walk outside, people are like, that woman has still bars on her legs. Like,
I'm sure she could have, like, fake feet. She just puts on instead.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, she really feels like... Or maybe she just doesn't feel insecure at all. Just like, sweet, this is how I look. Yeah, I make it work.
But you can't walk into, like... You can't walk into a pub or anything. You can't go anywhere. Mendrix, it's a weapon.
Who's gonna stop her from walking into the pub?
I don't know, Sejuani. Let's have a look. Here comes the charge. Gonna be the Glacial Prison again, rooted down. The chain CC. He can't even get out. Kingsley cleans him up, and Lynx may just start the Baron because of this.
They've also got the Mountain Drake that they managed to pick up beforehand. Look at it just drop.
It is going down so quickly. Willaris has Shockwave available. The Lynx want to fight this, or do they back off? Curse over the wall, jumps on in. Wombo combo coming through. Hextech ultimatum in the back. Curse deleted so quickly. And Outlaws now run from this fight. Shockwave's on the back. They find Harry, but is it enough? Willaris takes it with the Banshees. And Jopan still on Scarl, now off of it. Runs for his life. Spell shield. Scam diggity air. Rain needs the Blade Caller because he's going down. A Midal with the flank. It's not good enough. This is so messy from Lynx. The end of the day, they lose the trade again.
Lynx had the right idea going into that. They managed to pick up the support, but they used a lot of ultimates to break K-pop and take him away from that rift. So going for the Baron was a little bit of an overextension. Outlaws were then able to coax them out. Went too far. Lynx benefited, but continued the fight. Willaris was able to find the Shockwave afterwards. And that's what ended up spelling a bit of doom for Lynx there. They've managed to lose a little bit of control around the map because of that team fight.
And Outlaws will still hold 2,000 gold. Nothing more, nothing less. As Lynx are trying to make a name for themselves here. In their first OCS split, they're going up against our top team. Against some of our best players in the OCE challenger scene.
That's the best thing to do with support. You just aggro the Baron while someone's trying to clear the wards, and it's just like, you're going to take damage now, and you're going to have to back. Deal with that.
It's the little things in League of Legends, Mendrix.
Just
we say it at least once a week.
The little things in League of Legends, eh?
So you excited for this second movie or not?
Of course I am.
Good. Now Baron's getting started.
Baron?
I'm excited for the Baron.
I'm excited for all the craziness that's going to happen. Never mind. Oh, there's a wall again.
Weaver's wall.
That's twice it stopped a Baron.
But this time no one's in the pit.
Yeah, but that's because they realized that. Never mind, it started a Baron now.
Lynx doing a lot of DPS to this Baron and actually gotten it down to 5,000 health. Now 4. It's going down faster and faster.
Curse is nowhere nearby.
Willaris has the Shockwave available. Uses it, gets 2 members. One more combo again. Outlaws have already done so much damage at the start of this fight, and they're cleaning house. But on the back, there's a Kled, there's a Skull. He gets bursted down. Curse is back in. This guy has joined the roster to cause so much havoc. A double kill, finish it off, and a triple kill as the ace goes to Outlaws.
Everything there was because Willaris managed to find the Shockwave, and he seems to be doing it consistently every game he was put on the Orianna. You know what? Why do they keep giving this man the Orianna? He just seems to play it so well. And then they tried to scramble afterwards. Curse wasn't even in that fight until the very end, and he just plays Janitor afterwards. Outlaws are back in control of the game.
And what a fight to take us through, and take us through once again.
So as you can see here, Lynx are trying to slow down the pace of this game. That big Shockwave is what manages to land and start the team fight. Because the Baron wasn't low enough for them to actually force and engage afterwards, and of course Scam is deciding to go in and play Disruptor instead of going for the Smite. You can see there's a slow reaction from Sejuani from that point afterwards. And then there was just clean-up crew from Curse coming in at the very end.
And what an important game. Outlaws with this game, if they can take it, will be 6-1 at the top of the table and #1 going into semi-finals.
Lynx did not make it easy for them. A Scam jumps into the Krugs.
Yeah, Harry has to deal with this explosive cast, a zoning ultimate. will just be used, and Scam Diggity and Rain will both now be sieging this turret with a Baron buff. This will go down uncontested, and Lynx are bewildered by this Outlaws lineup just when you thought there was an opportunity. We do see again, yeah, body slam onto 2 members. Rain has to use the CC ultimate Blade Caller to root down only one. The Glacial Prison locks down, double man seismic shove, and Amidal picks up the kill, but the shockwave comes in. Willaris does it again. Jopan is wrecking Willaris, however, and this could be really good for Lynx. Even after a great ultimate, the rest of Outlaws are getting torn apart. Scam Diggity will be the final remnants.
At what cost? Curse is taking the base.
And he has done it so convincingly, Mendrix, because the inhibitor is down. The inhibitor is down. That means the base is broken.
And they still have a Baron available to them at the end of it when everything is said and done. Yes, you managed to trade across the kills, but you get no objectives for it. Oh, how nice. A Mountain Drake. That's great when there's no Baron up to use it on, when you don't have control in the top lane afterwards. Now you can just continue to put Curse in the bot lane. He's going to be able to sit there and push that one out. And now Outlaws with their stronger 4-man unit can just continue to push down mid. Seems to be textbook for Outlaws at this point onwards.
Mendry, Curse wants to go in 1v3, 1v2, nice. Is it not sexy because there's 2 Mountain Drakes? That is 20%. Lynx have good siege. Let's watch the replay again first, however.
So, as the wall comes in the block here, he realizes he doesn't even need it. He just drops it off there. And this is just typically the idea. It's going to be a 5-on-4. They put all their resources, put all their eggs into one basket. It's a fantastic shockwave, yes, but it's still going to be more members that you're going up against. They put too much damage into them, and they managed to clean house. But they were more than happy to make this trade, Outlaws. They get pressure around the map. They still have the advantage in the gold. Everything is good for them because they know they're still going to win teamfights, because if Curse was to walk in instead of get those inhibitors, he would have just cleaned house once again.
But they are winning fights. Jopan running for his life, excuse me, gets body slammed and bear trap on the right, won't save him. Skull goes running into that brush there. No one seems to be able to find him. But Outlaws, they might have this turret under their wings in this next push. Curse still has Baron, and he's pushing down in the bottom side.
And now as they continue to push through, it's just going to be a steamroll. I don't even think anyone can deal with Curse. Jopan can jump in, and it's going to need to be 2 members. But as you can see, we're immediately with 2 down there in the mid lane, they're just pushing even harder to get there. There's going to be a lot of chip damage coming through soon if they don't actually continue to control this encroachment from Outlaws.
I dare say that we're not surprised that Curse is a god on the Camille. We said in solo queue he's played it time and time again. It's just like his Renekton. And this guy, you know, he's joined the roster late. He's come over from, I think it was Korea. And he's making an impact. We go for another team fight again. Stunned on up. The ultimate, the Feather Call has to come through again.
That's a good wall.
Lynx, yeah, it's zoned them into the corner. Outlaws are in a bit of trouble here. Shockwave hits no one. Now Jopan's in. He's stunned on up, but in close corridors. The Zaya goes absolutely nuts. Already a double kill. Curse joins the fight this time. That's going to be the difference. The Shockwave may miss, but the Gragas is cleaning up. He will get shut down. Stunned up. Kingsley, run for your life. Eggsy, you have to find the exit. But no way. Kingsley has been chased and followed and destroyed. Outlaws will take the game.
You look at that team fight and you think Lynx couldn't have had that any better. You have the missed ultimate from Willaris. You managed to corral everyone into a good position so you can lay out all your abilities afterwards. But in the end, they weren't able to find that key target, which was going to be Rain, who was able to just wreak havoc. Yes, they managed to put him in a good spot, but they didn't follow up afterwards. And then because of that, ended up being them who fall in the end because the follow-up, that extra advantage from Outlaws was just too strong.
And that advantage, that was explosive, that game. Something from 0 to 100 almost broke me, because Outlaws just found these 5v5 team fights and played them pretty well, Preacher.
Yeah, but that was by the late part of the game. I mean, before 25-minute mark, before that Baron fight that really turned things towards the side of Outlaws, it was more or less even between the 2 teams. It was just a bit of gold going over to the blue side. But other than that, it was perfectly even all the way until Outlaws got that fight. But that fight was really the turning point. So I want to highlight exactly how they did it. You got to take a look at the whole situation. Everybody is hitting up the Baron. They are taking damage. They are taking magic resistance loss as well because of the Baron debuff. All of a sudden, Willaris comes in. They're grouped up. You know, it's just a perfect shockwave ready to happen. Only hits 2 people, but those 2 people are really all that matters, because if it hits more than one, all of a sudden your team engages. And you got to take a look at the whole situation. Lynx, they're coming up really strong. This is a new squad who have barely played together. We didn't see this squad last week. So, you know, in 1 week, in less than 1 week, this is a lot of improvement coming in from these guys. However, you got to take a look at it's small situations like that. Sure, you can make great macro plays. You can be like, okay, we're going to go topside. We're going to outnumber them. We're just going to kill them straight out. And that's exactly what they did. But when you go to something like a Baron, when you do unspoken things, like not group up when there's an Orianna on the other side, yeah, that's when they fall down.
But the problem is, why does Willaris keep getting Orianna? Like, I say this off stream. I say it on stream. I say it during the game. Every single week, it's first picked, it's prioritized, and Outlaws get Orianna. Why?
So on the other side, banning away Orianna from Willaris, I don't really know why teams aren't really banning it away because it looks like a preference for Willaris. I'm not going to go all out and say that he might be the best Orianna in OCS. I'm not going to say that he's a one trick.
I'd say he's the best Orianna in OCS.
The reason why I say Orianna is so good for his team is because we know that he is the pick banner. We also know that he is a shot caller when he goes into teams. You know, he's a very smart player. Let me tell you that. He's a very cerebral player. He's not one of those players who gets held up by their own mechanics. But Orianna really does enable the shot calling because all of a sudden you put your ball on somebody, you just say, just go in, right? Yep. Because that is the shot call in and of itself. They get a shield, and then obviously you have the follow-up after that. So it all just falls together when it comes to the player and the character.
Exactly right, and Outlaws will take that win, and that was a very hypey game because Lynx, with a new roster, came through and actually brought it to Outlaws in the early game. It was a very impressive performance. However, it was not enough, and Outlaws will sit nice and pretty on top. Being 6-1, these guys have had a fantastic split. Yeah. Like, they have performed so goddamn well, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in those semi-finals. But of course, we have more games in OCS Week 7 coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you in a quick 5 minutes.